All right, everybody, welcome one, welcome all. It is, in fact, the Pauper Pop Off.
I am very excited for the Paladin team kill. Paladin is probably my favorite class, probably my most played class in Hearthstone. So I'm excited to see what both of these guys have done. Both very different decks, and I think that speaks to the variety that this format can offer, especially with a fresh meta.
And yeah, we're definitely going to see the. You mentioned how Taklit's Paladin is featuring some of those mechs. Some of those mech synergies that we didn't see a whole lot of from Sapo's Hunter in the previous series, but the Paladin should have a slightly easier time, maintaining a board presence, having access to tools like True Silver Champion on 4.
Right. Well, also it comes into play earlier too, because you have things like Glowtron, you have things like, this build in particular, Shielded Minibot, Flying Machine. I think had some of those tools been afforded previously to Sapo, we might have seen a different match. And again, the Skater Bot, also a small tool. I don't know if Sapo was running that off the top of my head, but I didn't see it in the last match. Could have helped, could have changed some things around. See, a mech on Mech Warper turn 2 to get those early. See, discounting down to 1. Decent. And discounting down to free.
That
is insane.
We don't pay full retail for mechs here as a Paladin. We just don't. We're not interested.
No, not at all. Now he's trying to decide right here if he wants to play the Skater Bot to clear this Divine Shield. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he is not. He decided not to.
And it looks like it's going to be a Shielded Minibot follow-up for Felzak, and then has the option. Actually, we're not seeing any of the Dragon synergy activators. There's 2 copies, of course, of Sand Breath.
Sand Breath is not getting that Sand Breath is bad. Having 2. Not dead cards, I want to say, but cards that are not as efficient as they could be. Feel like dead cards. Feel a whole lot like dead cards.
Yeah, 1 mana +1/+2 is not the kind of power that you definitely would like to get that extra Divine Shield as well, but you have to be holding a dragon in order to get the Divine Shield back. And Divine Shield is pretty much going to allow all kinds of different value trades, but not being able to clear a Mech Warper means that we're going to see Taklit able to continue to take advantage of this discount. So Skaterbot can give any of his mechs not only +1/+1, but rush. So if he wants to rush this flying machine.
Rush the flying machine? A rush and Wind Fury is always just an insane combo in my head. Especially if you can make that above 1/4. Plus like a drawback of flying machine, of course, a Wind Fury with 1 attack, not that good. A Wind Fury with 2+ attack, pretty strong. Pretty strong.
And Taklit, of course, would love to be able to attach this war gear to it. And as long as the Mech Warper continues to survive, there's a non-zero chance. But I imagine that as soon as Felzak sees this flying machine hit the board,
it's going on the Shielded Minibot.
Yeah, so I think
he's
really
probably
saving
for the war gear. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely would like to attach this war gear because, like you were saying, plus attack on Wind Fury is so good.
Oh man, it's peanut butter and jelly is what it is. It's just it's a match made in heaven. Taylor's hold this time.
And so now, if you are Felzak, it looks like he's going to leverage some of his magnetic effects as well, but still stuck with these 2.
Yeah, the dead Sand Breaths are just killing him, but trying to do it just to get the Mech Warper out of there, I think, or potentially get the Flying Machine out. Nope, and it looks like he's going for the Mech Warper.
And so, this is obviously a huge threat that Felzak has been able to develop, and he is going to remove the Mech Warper, meaning the War Gear is no longer playable. So this Gobbo Glide tech is going to
be... I love the Gobbo Glide tech. I think that is a very, very good card here. I don't know what to do about the 5/9 at this point. Do you try and clear it? Do you just ignore it?
I'd say at this point we're probably ignoring it, because if there's a pretty good chance that one of our mechs will survive, we can attach the Mech Warper to, or I'm sorry, not the Mech Warper, the War Gear. So we can worry about the 5/9 at a later time, because that 5/9 is not going to hit us in the face just because of how wide our board is, and it only gets 1 attack per turn.
But being able to buff this guy to a 5/11 is going to make him even tougher to move. And as we were saying, in this format, you don't have some of the removal options. So I'm not certain Paladin runs any spot removal at all.
No, certainly not in these lists. True Silver Champion requires you to spend your health as that resource, and that's only 4 damage at a time.
Right, doesn't count as an all clear, basically.
Yeah, and there's no spells that are going to, you don't have access to your Equality Consecrate.
Yeah, what I'm really shocked at is the lack of silence effects in this tournament so far.
Yeah, we've seen the odd spell breaker here and there, but yeah, not a
lot
of owls and
not very often either. And both are, of course, totally eligible for this. And of course, going to clear the Wind Fury. Got to do the smart thing. And now, does the beaming sidekick hit the battle mage? Yeah, no, it does not.
Yeah, there's
The
no
rich get richer.
Yeah, and like you're saying, there's no access to execute or anything like that. So if Taklit wants to clear this mini bot, he's gonna have to get through it the hard way. And once again, Gobble Glide tech is great. If he wants to clear this 5/10, he's gonna have to spend his entire board or spend his war gear and his Gobble Glide rush.
There's also the argument that an 8/8 would also clear out pretty much all of Felzak's board dealing with, and I think I'd rather have an 8/8 than a 5/10, to be totally honest with you.
So then, I mean, the real question is, are we using this 8/8 to control the board, or are we just starting to make it a race? And it looks like Taklit is thinking about some board control, but also has the option to basically ignore this board, go face, and then play his new Gobble Glide tech on a later turn.
Oh, there it is. I like that a lot. I like that line of play a lot. And the Tar Creeper is really good here, especially when you're looking down the barrel of a more aggressive board when your opponent is trying to, is pushing back as you're pushing them. Tar Creeper is really gonna push those brakes a little bit.
Yeah, and it's one of those great cards for defending your offense, right? It's a 1/5, so it's not very threatening when you play it. But if you're hiding a 5/10 behind it, then all of a sudden,
yeah, it's very good. But he's wishing he could clear that 5/10 at this point. But still, and 5 health is very awkward to deal with because True Silver Champion doesn't do it. These Gobbo Glide techs are not going to do it. It's gonna be tough. He's gonna have to sacrifice the shielded minibot's health, probably health and well-being of the shielded minibot, which is something I'm deeply concerned about.
Yeah, and it's going to also defend Felzak's life total. And it looks like Felzak actually thinking about getting some value trades with his 5/10, going to spend potentially some of his life. He is behind on life, so he's definitely interested in locking the board down. And like you were saying, that 5 health, Gobble Glide tech is 4.
Oh man, Gadget's Outfitter, Gadget Street.
So that actually does it though, right? Because that'll buff up the Gobble Glide, and that'll get through
that's actually, yeah. I just as a fan of hand buff Paladin, using the Grime Street Informant on one creature makes me feel real bad. But I'm a very greedy player, and thus not as good at Hearthstone as probably some of these guys.
And all of a sudden,
ooh, Hand of a Doll.
Felzak has to clear the board every turn now, just because he's getting down to that danger zone where all of a sudden, if Taklit is able to find just a little bit more damage, all of a sudden that True Silver Champion can go face as well.
Yeah.
And it looks like, Felzak is going to spend all of his board resources to take all but this mighty Grime Street Outfitter off of the board.
But he is officially kind of winning this board now. Ooh, a War Gear. Do you play the raw War Gear, or do you wait for it? Just because you are so ahead right now.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and drop it just to try to close this game out. We're both players living off the top of their deck at this point, and now Blessing of Kings off the top.
Top deck is great.
That's going to allow a value trade using this Piloted Shredder. Dire Mole going to hit the board, and now all of a sudden Taklit is on the clock.
We got ourselves a game, baby.
And we're going to need some. Anoyotron is definitely going to.
A great help here. Great help with the Anoyotron. Anoyotron is particularly good at dealing with Silverhand recruits. 3 or 4 of them, give or take.
Just making sure that it's in the way. A great thing to try to attach mechs to if you're able to put some draws together. But it actually looks like the only draw that I'm seeing in both of these lists is the 2 copies of Hand of a Doll, which is great. +2/+2 draw card is clearly excellent.
Sure, that's at least a 3/3, if not more.
But oh my gosh, and just more gas. Felzak able to find one of his Cobalt Scalebanes to just continue. Now all of a sudden this button has become so threatening because every single recruit can become a
4/1. Which, if I'm doing my math right, 4/1, a lot better. Hand of a Doll, pretty good top deck there, but still might not be enough to deal with. Really, the Scalebane has now become the threat that you need to deal with. Another shielded minibot is good, and it's very sticky, which some of these minions are not.
And no way to rush it. He would love to have his other skater bot, something like that, to try to give his Divine Shield shielded minibot some rush. But as it is, it looks like it's a race. It's a race that Taklit has got very far ahead on, but is like at the finish line. He blew out both of his tires, and now Felzak needs to see if he can try to keep this board under control and not die in the interim.
This is certainly going to be a photo finish, folks.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 damage showing right now for Felzak, so he can't win the game on the spot, which means he must clear the board.
And that's going to be tough to do with the shielded minibot, because he only has 4 live minions. So, if if Taklit can top deck another Hand of Vidal, then that'll be it.
Yeah, a True Silver champion wins the game. Like you're saying, a Hand of Vidal wins the game.
Oh yeah,
if a single creature survives. Like there's a, oh my gosh, if Taklit hits, he has 2 draws at his, or I'm sorry, he has 1 draw at his single copy of True Silver champion, and if he finds it off the top right now, then he wins the game. If he doesn't,
it's not one of those. However, the shot bot is good and it's sticky, which is what he really, really needs and wants right now. That he could still win this race, and not clearing these 1/1s, I think, was a mistake on Felzak's part.
Leaving the possibility of a Hand of Vidal draw as well. There's a single copy of Hand of Vidal remaining in Taklit's.
Oh
no!
Whoa!
Oh,
Unstable goal! That's gonna be huge. That just changed the game.
And that, I mean, with a Tar Creeper draw as well, that means that all of a sudden Felzak can clear at will and start pressing his own offense some more.
Wow.
And with 2 taunts in the way, all of a sudden the True Silver champion and Hand of Vidal outs become much more difficult, if not impossible.
Insurmountable. That is a just the widest gap difference. I mean, we talk about widening gaps. That right there, a 1/3 taunt when most of your threats are 1/1s. A 1/3 taunt that deals AoE 1 damage is really, really very hard for Taklit. Especially when the Cobalt Scaleblade is still active, and a non-active Cog Master is not the top deck he wants to see.
Wow. Felzak wins that at
what
2
a
life.
Game! What a game!
If there are any folks out there who have access to the "there's only 1 hit point that matters," that is a situation where Felzak stayed calm, was able to keep leveraging his board positions and his board control to. He got board control later on, and he took a bunch of damage, but then he was able to stabilize at 2, which is crucially not dead.
No, very crucially.
And swing that back in his favor.
That's what happens with aggro decks, though, right? Is you go in, and two life is, unfortunately, as we said, not 0 life. Very distinctly not 0 life.
That's right.
So that's not going to be enough for him to take home this W. Now they are probably trying to feel out what they're going to pick next. Now that the Paladin is off the board with some stabilization tools and stuff. Does he go aggro again? What do you do?
It looks like so Taklit has a couple of different strategies available to him. You know, his Paladin, of course, we saw has several of the mech synergies, as well as some of the hand buff synergies as well.
Which I like a lot. I want him to hit those earlier.
Yeah, and actually he's going to stick on that Paladin. It looks like we are going to see the Hunter in from Felzak for game number 2.
All right, and see already starting with the Smuggler's Run and the Shielded Mini Bot. That's a very, very good hand to Smuggler's Run right off the bat if he wants to.
Yeah, Smuggler's Run, another one of those hand buff mechanics. We got to see perhaps a less than thrilling Grime Street Outfitter, but this 1 mana card here, the Smuggler's Run, can make all of your lower curved minions just so much more dangerous, especially in conjunction with the magnetic mechanic, where all of a sudden your war gears are 6/6s.
Giving 6s, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but even like a 2/3 Annoyotron is leagues better than a 1/2 Annoyotron.
Oh, absolutely. Meanwhile, in Felzak's hand, we see some of the finest early game drops in the game, with both Alley Cat and Dwarven Sharpshooter available.
Oh yeah, I love the early game. I mean, Alley Cat into Scavenging Hyena is a very, very, very good combo here. And if he wants to go that route. Now, Play the Beetle, also a pretty decent turn 2 play, of course, because it's an investment in your future armor.
Right. And it's amazing how 3 armor doesn't sound like very much, but I mean, really, it's an extra 10th added on to your life. He was at 3 health last time, and that saved him. So imagine the difference that makes. That would have more than doubled his life total.
Right, exactly. It's a pesky 3, those last 3 life.
Yeah, and so now he actually has several development options. You mentioned the strength of Plated Beetle. If you think you're going to be able to really leverage your board in the next coming turns, though, maybe he feels like he needs to take a risk and go ahead and throw out this Scavenging Hyena. Taklit not playing anything on turn 1 means he would need to have a 2-card combo, which we actually see in the hand, unfortunately, for Felzak.
Scavenging Hyena is gonna hit the board, which is interesting. Now, how greedy, the question is, do you want to be with this Smuggler's Run? Do you want to wait till you have a full hand? Do you want to just drop it so you can be effective right out the gates? That's a huge question hand buff paladins need to ask themselves.
Yeah, and I really want a shielded minibot coin skater bot to just go ahead and take this hyena off the board immediately. So
I think, yeah, I mean, just knowing how many beasts that Felzak is playing, I think getting rid of this hyena is probably a smart play, because that scavenging hyena can really snowball out of control. I mean, even getting like pinged for 6 damage from the hyena, that's a lot from a turn 2 play.
Oh yeah, and anything that if Taklit does decide, so there is the possibility. Oh, actually, he's going to Smuggler's Run.
And there's the Smuggler's
Run. So he's
just
going to go ahead and spend the. Did he mouse the Skater Bot or the Annoyotron? He's going to play the Annoyotron. So not even worried about it.
The Skater Bot, that's an interesting play. Yeah, I mean, just feeding the hyena, then the Sharpshooter's going to come down and be able to just snipe the.
And I want to say, it wasn't that long ago when a wise man once said, getting hit for 6 by a turn 2 play is, oh my gosh, it happened.
Oh, number 6. Man, just like I drew it. Insane. Absolutely insane. Now he's going to be forced to do an awkward position because he has to play something. I think he can't play the Glide Tech because it's not alive right now. He's just got to do Shielded Minibot into that.
And this is a big development turn for Taklit, playing that 5/5 with Rush. Like you mentioned, the Gobble Glide Tech's not currently active, so they're really kind of lackluster at a... I mean, a 3-mana 4/4 is not terrible, but you'd love a 3-mana 5/5 Rush.
Really would. And now the kill command's going to come down. Of course, they'd kill the Shielded Minibot, which is a bummer. You hate to see it for Taklit, but them's the breaks, right?
And actually, what an awkward turn 4 that's resulted in, because now both Gobble Glide Techs are dead. Or not, they're not dead, but they're not active. And then Hand of a Doll has nothing to hit unless Taklit wants to hit Hero Power and then draw, and Cogmaster's not live either.
I think personally that's probably the better play, is to just use the Hand of a Doll to dig for some mech, so in a future turn you are guaranteed to be live. Because if you hit one dead play, and is he going to drop the Cogmaster?
If he plays Cogmaster, then I think he's going to do exactly what you said. Go ahead and cycle, because there's a chance that he'll rip a 1-cost card that he might want to play.
Absolutely.
And so
that would be good.
War Gear.
And he does not. War Gear is a mech, though. But still not going to be a good enough mech probably for being able to do Gobble Glide Tech. And War Gear is kind of an awkward draw too, because you really want to stick that and staple it, or hot glue, or weld, or duct tape, whatever your fashion of fastening is. You really want War Gear to be on something else.
Yeah, they say it's magnets, but no one's buying that.
I don't know how those work.
And
I don't want to talk to a scientist.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that this Cogmaster is actually a pretty high threat level, because even if Taklit were to just throw down the War Gear, it still gains that +2 attack.
And using the second kill command. Wow, the Cogmaster, that big of a threat.
Yeah, and so now, once again, you're talking about how awkward this turn is. Gobble Glide Techs don't have Rush. War Gear is just kind of a big old 5-mana 5/5.
Absolutely, but is that going to be better than, hero powering and throwing a 4/4 Gobble Glide Tech, or even a Flying Machine? Because you really don't want to put because 1/4 Flying Machine is not good, but a 2+ anything, like we were saying before, Flying Machine is way better.
Yeah.
Like, leagues better. Because sometimes that +1 makes a difference. Like a huge difference.
Just sort of looking at these hands right now, it seems like we have a couple of combo plays that we can't do yet, right? We don't have.
Yeah.
We need 6 mana to do Flying Machine, Gobble Glide Tech. We need 8 mana to do War Gear, Flying Machine. So it looks like he's just going to go ahead and play out his 5-mana 5/5. And wow, that's a Draconid Crusher.
I think the Draconid Crusher, because it's going to be live this turn probably if he commits everything to face. That Draconid Crusher is going to be live this turn.
Yeah, I wonder if he is thinking about Desert Spear potentially, because his other option is to use his Hero Power, his Dire Mole, and his... it's Draconid Crusher.
Crusher, yeah. Well, the cool thing about Draconid Crusher, first of all, Felzak obviously loves the Crusher, but the cool thing about Crusher is we talk about how Pauper doesn't have that many payoffs. Draconid Crusher kind of is a payoff. It gives your deck a goal to get your opponent below 15 life, and then you have 2, all of a sudden, efficient 9/9s that you can just slap on down. And 9/9s are pretty hard to deal with for a lot of various classes in Hearthstone in Pauper.
Yeah, and it looks like he's thinking about... So right now, he's trying to decide if he's going to Hero Power trade to clear this War Gear, or send it all face. And, obviously we have the benefit of being able to see both hands at all times. It would be quite to his advantage to clear this, but right now he's doing the arithmetic, like, my only card in hand is this Crusher. He's going all face.
It looks like he's going to activate the Crusher, which is good. I mean, that's going to be hard hard for Taklit to deal with. Like, let's not discuss the importance. A true silver champion off the top, though, makes it a little less awkward if he can make a mech stick and do next turn a true silver and another gob tech if he can do.
And now he gets to do both gob techs if he wants, and they'll both both have rush, couple of 5/5s. Looks like he's going to maybe go halfway and play out this flying machine.
Yeah. Well, I think just with the 1/1s on board that the flying machine actually could be efficient here, just not as efficient as it could be.
But in terms of raw stats, it's going to be tough to argue with a 6-mana 10/10.
Oh no, you're right. You got the 2 5/5s with a rush. Also pretty hard to argue with.
Yeah. And so, I mean, 6-mana 9/9 is good. 6-mana double 5/5 rush is also quite good. And so Felzak, did the math, took a calculated risk. Mm-hmm. It can be very tough in these very low card economy situations to figure out how much you need to play around stuff. And Dragon and Crusher is still very good.
Yeah, it's still 9/9. That's going to clear at least 2 of those minions for sure. If he doesn't, try and dome it to the face, which I don't think he will, of course. And there's the Shotbot, which is a lot better again with a War Gear or something with magnetic. But it looks like he's going to play out the True Silver.
And this is an awkward turn. So Taklit is now looking down the barrel of how good Hunter's hero power is in these low card economy situations.
Right.
Like 2-mana deal, it's just a instant clock. As soon as you get it, especially once you get around like that 10 health range, Hunter doesn't need to find much chip damage to just go ahead and eke over the finish line.
Right. Well, and I've seen this used. True Silver obviously is a great board clearer, great attacker, but also that healing can matter. Getting 4 healing from a True Silver. That is obviously can mean the difference between life and death, and I think it's going to be seen more in a healing factor than a removal factor here.
Yeah, being able to he's sort of active. He's able to aggressively heal. Right, he'll take this 1 damage real quick and then never take it again, and also heal.
Yeah, right. And I like clearing the 1/1. I don't know a lot of players that would that 5 to help versus clearing a 1/1. That is, I think, the difference between a good Hearthstone player and a great Hearthstone player is recognizing that even a 1/1 can be your demise, right?
Right, and he has seen both kill commands, but there's still other ways to leverage potential beasts, and so he would like to get all the beasts off the board, go ahead and disable stuff like Houndmaster, stuff like that. Yeah. All right, so now as Felzak, he has the leftover links from his earlier Spring Paw, and then of course the Dire Mole, but none of those beast payoffs actually currently sitting there. We don't see the Houndmasters in particular to be able to make a 3 rush out of this Lynx, for example.
Yeah, it's interesting. This Lynx is one of the best early games plays, like much like the Tabby Cat, the Dire Maul, or anything like that. Just these efficient 1-drops just do not become quite enough in the late game. You really want to just drop those as fast as you can with some interesting things like the Hyena. Right. But it looks like that's not going to be enough to quite deal with the 5/3. So.
It looks like, Felzak at this point, I would assume, is feeling pretty all in. No, actually going to hedge his bets. Oh my gosh, and a War Gear
another
rip off
War
the top.
Gear. There it is, the Flying Machine War Gear.
Wow, and so now.
Oh, I love. Is he gonna do it? He's got it, right?
It's too.
Yes.
It's too rad.
The 69. The 69 War Gear. I'm gonna say very family-friendly, appropriate, nice for that play.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh man.
Ooh, and the Houndmaster again. It would turn earlier. That Houndmaster would have been just absolutely perfect. But right now on a 1/1 Lynx,
he can use it to try to take this War Gear off the board if he wants to. But yeah, there's that 6/9 just sitting there ready to drive 12.
Well, the interesting thing here is because it's a hunter, Taklit is on a 4-turn clock. So really, is taunt going to be enough? Is clearing the 5/3 going to be enough? Because he is that high on health that if he can get rid of the 5/3, he can actually afford to take 12 damage 2 turns in a row. Now, if he can find more health, great. If not, that's going to be an issue. Oh, and he decides to just stay.
Oh my gosh, and the Skaterbot's going to speed up the clock from Taklit. It's going to go ahead and push this up to a 7/10.
Oh my gosh, a 14 to the dome is a lot harder to deal with, sending him to 7. And only one of the Flying Machine's attacks are going to get through. Now, Animal Companion with Houndmaster could save him.
And actually, if he gets Huffer, does he win this game? If he gets Huffer, does he win this game? Oh,
he didn't. But you're correct.
He would have won the game. Oh my gosh, it was a Huffer roll off of winning the game.
It's never the problem here is it's never the animal you need.
Right.
That's just that is the rule of that particular card, right? Don't hope for Huffer, because it's not going to be Huffer. In fact, it's going to be Huffer every other time than when you need Huffer. That's just how it goes, how the cookies crumble.
Wow, and it's crazy to think how close that game was. If a 1 in 3 to just win the game right
oh,
there
yeah,
on the
spot. I'm sweating over here, Bills. I am sweating, and not just because I'm still wearing this blazer and it's 7 degrees in Georgia, but...
Right. And so that brings us to a tie ball game. Taklit and Felzak, both paladins have made it through. So now we're sitting on Warrior Demon Hunter versus Warrior Priest for these two players.
Right.
And I am excited to see this. You know, everyone has been respecting Demon Hunter a whole lot with good reason. We talked about how it's it's got a very streamlined, common, and basic set. But is it warranted? I wanna, if you never tested, and actually we're still not going to see it, it's going to be Hunter versus Warrior. That's my fault. Sorry about that.
So here's what we're looking at. We're looking at a Hunter who has been doing his job as a Hunter and going face very, very, very hard. And a Warrior who is trying to basically play off the back foot the whole time and doing it very well. That's a firm back foot he has. And he's using Warpath. This is the second Warpath he's played, but he's going to... I see the Restless Mummy not Warpathing all the way, keeping the Restless Mummy on the board.
Interesting. Sort of doing a halfway between.
Yeah.
And so now, Felzak finds a kill command that he can activate. So actually, if he attacks, he can actually use the kill command to deal 5 damage. To Taklit, setting him all the way down to 7 minus 5 is 2.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's a lot of damage. I mean,
but it was a couple of series ago. You were talking about burst damage and when you utilize it. How important is it to make it be a surprise? Because if Taklit decides not to armor up, for example, and plays out his Nozdormu instead. Maybe he doesn't respect, the taking the 1 damage from the spear, and maybe he starts trying to put on his own aggressive clock, something like that, where all of a sudden the kill command can go over the top and put the game away.
Right, because you're not maybe playing with that in mind, and in some places you can't afford to. Here, I think Warrior at 8 health, playing a Hunter very specifically, that I think you do need to go ahead and play with that in mind, just because a Hunter is known for that kinds of things. But like a Pirate Warrior, that can come in so many different ways, and the shield block is a killer top deck right now, being able to go essentially gain 7 health or 7 armor. And a Rampage. Oh, I like Rampage in the list.
Yeah, that's just a great way to leverage some of your, you have some high health taunts, Bone Wraith, Tar Creeper, stuff like that, and they're going to take hits.
Well, you're also playing, Taklit's also playing a lot of Reborn minions, which count as, as damage as well. So absolutely. I think that's a really interesting synergy here. And Plated Beetle is not what he wants to see.
No, Felzak doesn't really need any armor right now. He needs more damage. He would have loved to
dragon or draw 2 dragons is just very good to keep his advantage against Felzak.
And yeah,
but maybe we'll start with.
I wonder, actually, since you have the ability to clear the entire board and you have a Rampage, I'm the Nozdormu was speaking to me as someone who loves cards.
Yeah, right. No, I mean that's the most fun play certainly. Oh, but Twin Tyrant is just not even close. I mean, it's so much better. Also, a Deathwing, even as just a 12/12, is very hard to deal with.
Yeah, and it'll pull a Nozdormu out when it dies. If it dies.
If it dies.
And yeah, Felzak needs 8 damage, and an Alley Cat is not going to do it. But he's not dead yet. He can just keep hitting the hero power. He's got a couple of turns where he can take these hits to try to find, because Alley Cat does turn on his other kill command if he can find it. And the possibility of,
I mean, a kill command will... no, I think he's used both kill commands at this point.
He has only used the 1 in this game.
Just the 1? Oh, okay. Oh, I must be thinking of the other game. Still, though, a kill command will do it. He's not totally out of this game. He's just going to be... he's going to be using that health reserve.
Right.
His face is a valuable shield.
And I imagine we're not going to see Taklit miss a single armor up, even though he's not going to be able to...
You cannot afford to. Dragon and Crusher, good top deck, probably not enough right now.
And hero power Dragon and Crusher going to try to...
Although, honestly, Dragon and Crusher is going to maybe keep him honest. I don't super know what you do about it right now. Other than, I guess you can Restless Mummy into him, and then you could bolster the Restless Mummy again, but...
Oh yeah, that'll actually take care of it really cleanly. Actually, now that you say that, because it'll be 3 and then 6 to deal the full 9, and then you still have enough mana to do that ever. Oh, actually, we're gonna see the Deathwing hit the board. Did I see that mouse over correctly?
I saw him thinking about it, but I think that's a. I mean, you do still need to get through the Tar Creeper. Oh, and he's just gonna go ahead and clear it with doing it the old-fashioned way.
Right. All the lists are like, we talked about how the lists are open deck list, and the amount of burst tops out at the possibility of kill command hero power, and so Taklit doesn't think that Felzak has kill command hero power right now.
No, and he's awfully close with flanking strike here, but it's just not going to be quite enough. If he can get Desert Sphere and flanking strike, we might have ourselves a ball game. But Felzak has decided that it's not worth searching for it. And
he was just out of stuff. He was out of time with that. It was a very brave play to go ahead and throw that Deathwing on there, because there was a combination of very specific, but there was a combination of cards that he could die to. But it also just, sometimes you have to decide, like, is it more dangerous for me to stay in this game for more turns?
Right, exactly. Yes. If personally speaking, am I going to start getting hurt?
And so we're seeing this Hunter having a little bit of a struggle bear time against Taklit's lineup here so far.
Yeah.
That is a win for the Warrior. And again, just real quick, production apologies from me. I'm not sure exactly how I managed to keep it on. I guess I can't quit your handsome face, TheBrandoShow, and it's just it's snuck through. It's snuck through.
I did put on a blazer just for the event, but I'll be very, very, very candid here. I am definitely wearing shorts under this. It is business. It is the mullet of outfits. It is business at the top. And party on the bottom. But here we go back. Felzak tried to do the Hunter again. Taklit relying on Priest. I don't love this matchup for Felzak, but I'm curious how it's going to go, because this is a more aggressive Priest deck, not a standard Priest deck.
Yeah, featuring some really, it tops out at 3. The highest mana cost cards are Overconfident Orc and Tar Creeper, as well as a Cabal Talent Piece at the very top.
I do love Overconfident Orc. Northshire Cleric is a great. I love that. Probably my favorite turn 1 play in the game. Renew is just essentially a cantrip. Being able to discover a priest spell is, I don't know if it's limited to priest spells, but being able to discover a spell for 1 is really powerful in the Pauper format, because it gives you some flexibility, but it also lets you dig outside of the rarity value into cards that are potentially stronger. Although there are, of course, a lot of commons that are stronger than Epic's not legendaries, maybe. Well, no, I would say that, Acolyte of Pain is definitely better than some legendaries that they've printed over the years.
Oh, for sure. And,
for sure.
The ability of this deck to potentially and explosively both generate and draw cards, we have some area of effect heals in the form of Circle of Healing, as well as Divine Spirit, as well as the Renew that we were just talking about. And the ability to put together an explosive combo turn is alive and well here in Wild, because we're actually going to...
Here we go, Oh, what a great combo.
A 2/6 and discover a spell.
It's pretty strong.
Wow, Shadow Visions, I have to imagine, is going to be the pick here, because that's...
I don't know. I really love Eternal Servitude as well, although it is a combo deck. You're right.
No, okay. Yeah, I thought for sure.
When the 2/6 dies, you can just remake a 2/6. That seems pretty good. But I agree, in retrospect, I think the Shadow Vengeance is better if you're looking for a combo, right?
Yeah, and since you already have Divine Spirit, but he doesn't have a lot of his big combo activators right now. He needs to get a high health minion to stick on the board. So
right, true, that is a problem, and the Eternal Servitude will just give that to him for freezies, not for freezies, but
for foursies.
For foursies.
And so now this turn a little awkward. Taklit has a lot of ways to draw cards, but he doesn't have the mana necessary to do. And he's missing a lot of his combo activators. And since he doesn't have access to some of the premium ways to draw cards. Wow. We have seen so many Leox this series.
I think we've only seen Leox, if I'm not mistaken. I certainly haven't seen any bears or pigs.
Yeah, it's been just a lot of Leox. Is that a griffin? I'm not really sure what Leox is.
Now, Hot Air Balloon is a very interesting play to me here. It seems like... one of those things that was maybe better in theory. It's pretty good on turn 1 if you're not playing an aggressive opponent, because if you can get a 1/4 even, that is a very, very good thing for your combo, being able to deal, being able to double that and then make that the health. That's really good especially if your opponent does not respect the 1-drop, because Hot Air Balloon, a 1/2 that just gains a health. Pretty easy to overlook, I feel.
And if Taklit is ever able to put the board back in his favor, then that hot air balloon just represents every single time it triggers and that health goes up, it represents like 2 additional damage every single time.
Right.
But right now, Taklit kind of stuck with an awkward hand here. A lot of things that need you to have a board already. So we're going to see either Injured Tolbeer or Acolyte of Pain come back.
I think the Tolbeer is probably, yeah. I mean, a 2/6 is just more efficient. And drawing is good, of course, but...
Yeah, but no, with having to spend all 4 mana, it's really that turn is unfortunately mana inefficient, because that was like the amount of mana you want to spend on a 2/6 taunt is not not really 4, but he needs to play cards, right? Doesn't. You can have a fistful of cards. If you're dead, it doesn't matter. Well,
if you can have a 2/6 is still pretty good against this board. I mean, you essentially stop 6 damage, which right now, when you're looking for a combo and digging for some stabilization, stopping 6 damage to a deck that wants to just deal damage to your face, it seems like a pretty efficient play.
Yeah, gonna be able to utilize. Man, Dwarven Sharpshooter is so good at board control.
He really is, especially in this format when you don't have the ability to just pop him like you normally do, or as efficiently.
Right, when you don't have access to nearly as many weapons and stuff like that. So Taklit now sitting on turn 5 has the option to play out. Once again, it's just sort of 1 or 2 mana short off stuff you might want to do. Overconfident Orc in conjunction with this Cabal Talent Priest would be great if it didn't cost 6 mana. At this point, I wonder if he's going to start thinking about things like playing out the Overconfident Orc and then potentially hiding a hot air balloon behind it.
Oh, that's a good idea. I thought you were about to suggest Divine Spiriting it just for the... Oh, and it looks like that might be what we're seeing here. Just to have the health, just to have the wall while he digs for the other the other Inner Fire.
Yeah, and the possibility... He does need to find a way to get through this Leok, but...
Well, this is also
high health. 12 is a great maximum health just because of the, between Circle of Healing and the renews and stuff. You're going to be able to... If this is not eliminated, that health will come back.
Right, and it also makes kind of an awkward play for Felzak, because basically any minion he doesn't attack without damaging this is going to die, so he's going to lose some board presence, or he's going to have to use his hero power on it, and then still attack into it kind of awkwardly, just not as awkwardly as before.
What do you think about going ahead and throwing down this crack? Okay, well, before I could say the whole sentence, Crackling Razor Maw.
I feel good. I feel real good. And I think the +3 attack is the perfect complement for it. Is short of poisonous, exactly what he was probably looking for. Right. And yep, he's going to deal the 2 damage to the Overconfident Orc.
And he's going to be able to keep this Leok on the board still. This Leok has seen some stuff over the course of this game, and Taklit's sitting at 13 life already.
That is a seasoned Leok.
And, Inner Fire is obviously a really strong combo piece, but the combo priest requires you to have a minion on the board. And there's just no...
Yeah, I mean, this Felzak has got his footing, and he's not giving an inch. Oh, is he about to heal that?
Yeah,
just to draw a card.
Needs to draw.
Just for the card draw. Just for the card draw.
Desperate for draw.
Yeah. Wow, that has got to feel bad.
And
I mean, what do? I guess you have potentially next turn you have Tar Creeper, Inner Fire, Divine Spirit. No, well played. That's also a valid move. When the chips are down.
And my friend, we have perhaps the finest words in all of Hearthstone. We're going to a game 5.
Oh yeah! I'm so excited. Apologies if my peaked to the audio, but I'm very excited.
You know what I just realized is I have one of these classes wrong. So let me go ahead and switch this to Hunter and take it out. Apologies again. Anything that has gone wrong technical wise, you absolutely just set me on fire. That is absolutely me. So it's going to be Demon Hunter and Priest is going to be the final matchup between Felzak and Taklit in the second semifinal. Sorry?
Demon Hunter and Priest is good.
And so this is going to be another one.
It's going to be an interesting one. This is going to be kind of a race, right? Just to see who gets their pieces faster. Lowly Squire in Demon Hunter. I totally missed that. That's a fascinating card for this, because the low Inspire in Demon Hunter is just a really cool mechanic, simply because of the hero power is discounted, basically, compared to when the Inspire mechanic was first released.
Right, and if you want to talk about a class that is quite good at controlling the board, you just mentioned the cheap hero power that is a great board control tool. Chaos Strike, Umber Wings. And then the usual suspects, Frozen Shadow Weavers and Satyr Overseers are so strong that we're seeing them played professionally. So
yeah, right, exactly. So it's gonna be good for sure.
Yeah, the ability of this Demon Hunter to try and
I cannot explain how much I love the turn 1 Lowly Squire into what I assume is going to be a turn 2 Lowly Squire and Hero Power, getting a 2/2, 2/2/2s. Ooh, or just the Blazing Battle Mage. I think you still go Lowly Squire. Just invest in yourself.
Yeah, if you're going to be... Oh, you also could do both. You could Lonely Squire and Blazing Battle Mage if you want to just maximize the amount of threat on the board. And if there's one thing that this Priest does not have, it is removal. It really requires a board and taunts. What's
really interesting, though, is because when we were talking earlier, we figured Priest would have one of the easier times of dealing with wide boards, just because it's been given so many control tools over the years.
Yeah, the Holy Nova, but it's... you have to. Taklit was expecting to be ahead on the board, I would imagine, just looking at the way that this list is.
That's true, and with good reason. This deck does seem like it comes down pretty fast, just not fast enough to the very aggressive deck that Felzak has conjured up. And so, it's basically the opposite of what Apollo has done, where Apollo in previous rounds was just like, oh, how do I put all the healing into my decks? Felzak is like, well, how do I put all the aggro into my decks, and
some combos. Playing combo in a fresh metagame like this is also another one of those brave things. But yeah, we're gonna see the Chaos Watcher come down in conjunction with the Hero Power, and you talked about investing in yourself.
Here it goes.
Here it goes.
Oh, here we go. The Twin Slice. I think we're gonna see both aspects of the Twin Slice here. No, probably not. Just the one, and then just clearing it just for good measure here, making sure to protect the Lowly Squires for future endeavors.
So one of the opportunities that this has opened up for Taklit is if Taklit ever feels like he's in a very desperate situation, he can Northshire Circle of Healing and heal up a bunch of Felzak's creatures to get a bunch of card draw. I mean, it's not a desperate situation just yet. I don't imagine we'll see that combo this turn, but anytime there are injured creatures on the board against Priest, there's always the possibility of you giving Priest a bunch... Oh, actually, maybe we are going to see it this turn. Looks like he's hovering the Northshire Cleric, thinking about, I wouldn't mind drawing a couple of cards right now.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Though, again, I don't know that healing the opponents is going to be your... Oh, but discovering a spell, being able to restore 3 health to yourself, and then discover a spell is not too bad.
And we see one of those combo... It's not really a combo activator on its own. We see the copy of Silence in Taklit's hand right now. It's one of those things that's supposed to get through taunts. Felzak doesn't have any taunts in this Demon Hunter, so he might be using it to try to take some pressure off the board. Apotheosis, Holy Smite, and Forbidden Shaping the choices.
I think I like Apotheosis better right now, but Holy Smite and Forbidden Shaping also could be valid choices. Honestly, I love the flexibility of Forbidden Shaping. I love Holy Smite because obviously he's looking down the barrel and he's going to go with Holy Smite and immediately going to play it to deal with the 3/2. Which, I love that being able to clear the 3/2. Right. Because there's no guarantee that these 2/2s are going to become 3/2s anytime soon.
And actually, that was really putting the question to Felzak. If you have a 4-mana play, then that means you don't get to hit your Hero Power button. But Felzak going to go ahead and use up the second half of that Twin Slice, as well as his Blazing Battle Mage. And these Lonely Squires are they're an unstoppable force right now.
Well, he's seen, these Squires will someday become Knights, but also he's seen how much he truly valued the draw off of that... the cleric, and I gotta tell you, I think that's a smart play, just being able to recognize, like, hey, my opponent is willing to heal my guys to draw cards. He must be looking for something.
Wow. Power Word, Replicate, Divine Spirit, and basically a rebuy on many of the options.
Oh, man. That's a tough bid, but he goes for the renew again, the renew.
And gonna go ahead and take the rebuy. He would not at all mind to see, okay, Holy Fire does represent some potential healing. Power Infusion works well with his combo if he can survive that long. But
Embrace the Shadows. Embrace the Shadows and Circle of Healing is the ultimate, right? That's the old Aknai combo.
That's right. The Aknai effect along with Circle of Healing. And
that is a killer board clear. That is a killer board clear.
And so now Felzak has to decide. He doesn't
he decided.
He has decided. Scalebane going to be the play. And so now Taklit has the opportunity. I was going to try to make it sound like an opportunity, but Taklit has had to spend a lot of resources just to try to blunt Felzak's aggression.
Yeah, the problem is after getting that board clear, Taklit doesn't have anything to claim the board himself, really. Cabal Talon Priest, of course, is not bad, especially Northshire Cleric into Talon Priest, but still not a huge help here for him.
Right, he's gonna have to commit the Talon Priest, like you're saying, put that, and that all that really does is prevent Felzak from clearing exactly his Northshire Cleric with exactly one attack. He's still gonna have if he does decide that he wants to trade in, this is a 6/6, which is not nothing.
Yeah, no, and it looks like he's gonna potentially sacrifice the 5/5. I think that's the point of the 2/2 here, or of this 2 attack. Maybe he just wanted to draw cards though.
This is an interesting situation. You're able to hit the draw off the Sigil Runner means that now he is somewhat incentivized. I mean, Taklit, he has to assume that Taklit is incentivized to try to take value trades with the 6/6. In that situation, do you just go face because you are the aggressor? It seems like maybe not in the grand scheme of everything, but as of right now, Felzak, if Felzak thinks he can put Taklit in a situation where Taklit must value trade, then take the damage.
Yeah, I think that's. I think you are correct on that. It's just, a big problem is both the 5/5 and the 6/6 are both huge value investments for both players. So it's advantageous for both Taklit and Felzak to get rid of these.
Right, and if you don't kill off that Northshire Cleric in its entirety, it does mean that Taklit will be able to utilize its hero power to draw cards. Oh, okay, interesting. We're actually going to see a value trade into the Talon Priest.
I think that's a smart play here.
And Battle Fiend going to hit the board. Taklit basically gets 2 draws this turn. Oh, interesting. Going to go ahead and put 3 damage on the Northshire.
Just get rid of it. Yep. Makes sense. It means that the Northshire Cleric cannot clear the 5/2 without itself dying.
Oh, yeah, good point. That's a great point. Even post-hero power would still be throwing away its entire life in order to clear the 5/2. And the 5/2 threat level is so high, we've seen it be. I mean, the Cobalt Scalebane is... I think you were saying if it gets to trigger even twice, it's an 11/5.
Yeah, I mean even once it's a decent card, but
that's a rip.
That is a great rip. Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute. Is he going to topsy-turvy?
That is not what I was expecting. I mean,
but this is a board clear.
That's interesting. That's a really interesting play.
And gets
to
keep...
The 6/6 hits the board.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow, a clear board. Yeah, tough to argue with a clear board.
Chess. Yeah, now he gets to draw the card, which, as we all know, drawing cards is Hearthstone. Pretty good.
Oh man, and just look at all this taunt getting in the way. The Draconic Crusher is obviously a big body, but with the ability of Priest to draw 2 cards.
9/9, so bad.
Oh yeah, and with Priest's ability to draw 2 cards every turn, it's never going to lack for defensive options.
No way.
And now this overconfident orc is feeling very confident.
He's a rightfully confident orc. Let's see what the Demon Chaos Strike is good, especially obviously being able to draw cards. Umberwing,
man,
not quite get you there, but a little extra boost. Make sure you're hitting for 2 to 3 damage to the turn with the Twin Slice and the hero power is good, but at 11 health, you don't really want to sacrifice that. Now, we're dealing with a similar issue with Demon Hunter that some of the Warlocks we've seen have dealt with, in that there's just no healing in the build because it does not want to sacrifice any of its resources in order to heal. It wants to just go face, but
right. It's supposed to win the game with 1 hit point and no cards, but when it has to spend its life, like you're saying, it's been spending its life so aggressively to try to maintain board control and try to remove all of Taklit's. Okay.
Divine Spirit is very good here.
I mean,
I still think he wants to. I still think he wants to draw first, just to see if he can get any form of lethal here, because an Inner Fire will finish the game.
Oh yeah, that's right. So definitely worth a draw, as well as if he can find. So he's only playing the 1 copy of Topsy Turvy, and he has committed that already this game. So yeah, the other copy of Inner Fire gets there. Okay, he's actually going to take a value trade, heal his Tar Creeper.
Oh, that's good too. I like that as well.
And Tol'Vir, man, just going to continue locking this game out. And this,
yeah. Oh yeah. If you got it, flaunt it, baby.
Am I wrong? Has this Northshire Cleric gotten in for 18 damage over the course of this game?
At the very least, that is a beefy cleric.
Oh, and that is, my friends, Game 5 ends in a priest victory.